Okay.
This is ASMR.
This is ASMR. We're recording.
I'll be eating cheese for the rest of this video. Eating cheese and drinking Pepsi.
Yes.
Coming to you live. Sorry. Yeah, I bought this for the bagels, and I think it's really good, but I just I ate too much of it, and there's fucking so much salt in there. And it was like, when you were like, be quiet, I was all, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, this is the worst time. I didn't realize there was so much fucking salt in there. It's for pretzels. I bought the wrong one. I thought it was cream cheese spread. And I was like, well, I'm going to fucking eat it anyway. I paid for it. I'll eat it. Okay, where were we? What were we talking about? We're starting off our episode on predictions for Star Wars. The Last Virgin. What is this?
This is Rise of Darth Vader, Rise of Skywalker.
No, see, now I have you all fucked up too, because now I fucking can't remember the titles at all. I'm bad with names anyway. My brain is just like, if we take, this is the name of this thing, and I'll be like, give me, oh fuck, what was that? The flipper dipper. Give me that. Yeah. And I'll forget. And then like tonight when I'll be laying in bed, I'll be like, The Rise of Skywalker. I'll get up. I remember. Okay, I got it under control.
Yeah.
So we're making predictions. I'm going to start off with a hard prediction on character deaths. I think we should just open up with fucking
possibilities. Who's not making it out?
Somebody's not making it out.
Somebody's not making it out.
We're having
No.
If I'm going to fucking riot if we get through this film and everybody's alive. If Carrie Fisher's alive at the end of this movie, I'm going to fucking freak out. Fisher's dead. Let's just say right away that Fisher's dead.
That's the easy one.
No offense to the Carrie Fisher fans out there. I'm sure she was a great inspiration to you and all the things that she did. Her wonderful wild life of cocaine and excess. We can bring that up too real quick.
Yeah, we might as well not tiptoe around it.
I'm not a big fan of Carrie Fisher. I'm going to just say it. I'm not a big fan. Everybody, when she died, everybody was like, it's so sad. It's so sad. She's died, and she was just meant everything to me.
Like, was it really? Did you really care before Star Wars got restarted and she was in another Star Wars movie? Did you really care?
Nobody cared that she was addicted to cocaine. Nobody even knew.
Yeah.
You can see there's a scene in Empire Strikes Back, I believe. If you can see, I'll have to put it up. Maybe we can put it as the thumbnail for this episode of Carrie Fisher's coke finger. And you can see her coke finger in one of the scenes. She puts her hand on Han Solo's shoulder, and that's her left hand, I think. And you can see her pinky nail is that ain't for digging boogers.
No.
We'll just say it's dug all the way out. But she recently passed away, and everybody was upset because they're like, oh, no, Princess Leia. All they can think of is Princess Leia. But
and they're like, well, do you remember her from Blues Brothers? Do you remember?
Absolutely nothing. I'm here bashing her. That's why we started this podcast, is just for my loathing of Carrie Fisher. And not for Star Wars or our own fame or wanting of anything else. It's just because I needed to say that to everybody, as many people as possible. Fisher's gone. She's going to make it to the end of the movie. Fisher's going to be a space ghost.
Yeah.
Easy. Because they can just use her image, because the space ghost doesn't talk unless he's Yoda or Ben Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
No space ghost talks, as we know so far in the rules.
Yeah.
Rules of Star Wars, as far as I know it. Mainline stories. Don't bring me any book bullshit here. Mainline stories, only Ben Kenobi can talk, and only the Yoda ghost. As we saw in the last movie we just watched, they brought back the old puppet. He told Luke, blah, 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 blah. Then Luke becomes a space ghost. Now, Luke is not the clear hologram space ghost, but he's a space ghost.
So in what way? Like he's just going to be...
Think back to the old episodes, right? The first 3.
Okay.
Not 1, 2, 3. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Right. You cut to the teddy bear picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Christensen is now... Darth Vader went from
60
to 30.
Yeah.
And he's doing fine, and he's all happy. He's like, "Hey, it's me!" And nobody knows who the fuck he is, because like Luke doesn't know who the fuck that is. It's not like he had a picture of his dad when he was younger. He's just like, "Who?" There's Ben, and Ben is old.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Ben's old.
Ben's old.
And then they were like, Hayden Christensen, I need you to come back and fucking fill the role of Darth Vader because that'll make sense at the end of the fucking movies. So they were space ghosts, but what color were they? Do you remember?
I believe they were just the light blue, right?
They were glowing blue. They were ghosts.
Yeah,
space
they
ghosts.
were space ghosts.
That's what you think of a ghost would look like, right?
Yeah.
It's a space ghost. Now, in this last one, Mark Hamill was not clear.
No,
he did
that
the
was
Frighteners.
He did the Frighteners. Yeah,
he was a Frighteners ghost. They changed the rules on how the ghosts work, but he was like in the Frighteners because he's like a clear light inside, and you could see him.
Right.
And he was like a regular dude.
Regular dude on the outside.
You could interact with him, but he was a ghost, a fucking spooky ghost. That's what's gonna happen to Leia. She's gonna be, but I want them to be clear space ghosts. Because I think they're going to do that. They're going to wrap it up with that because this is, like you said, they're going to mirror Return of the Jedi as hard as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what they're going to, because they did the same thing with this last movie where they're going to do some similarities compared to the last couple of movies. They had the AT-ATs featured in. What was the fuck? Was
All right, let's talk about the salt / snow planet.
Oh yeah, you were blown away by that.
Yeah, you pointed that out to me, and it messed me all up.
We're gonna have to fucking pull it all up to show everybody because, okay, at the end of this is not Rise of Skywalker.
No,
this is
the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. God damn, I can't remember any of the names. The one with the cat dogs.
Yeah.
You get to the scene in the third ending for the movie because they've ended it three times at this point. They're sitting in the field, and they have the Imperial walkers are coming, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna get blown up. And they have instead of using their spaceship, they're going to fucking blow you up with a elephant pulled device. A call out to Tolkien and Peter Jackson's work.
It was a battering ram.
They're bringing
it was
siege
space
beasts,
battering ram.
Siege beasts and fucking battering rams and olifants and the whole to come down on their Helm's Deep that they've blah blah blah. Okay, you get the whole thing.
So that whole scene is set. Yeah.
Your scene is set. It's all white, a big salt flat, and we know this because they cut to a scene where a guy goes. It's salt, and he tells the audience it's salt. Let me tell you all what the fuck this is, in case you were all wondering, which nobody was wondering.
Nobody cared.
Nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah, nobody
we all
cared.
were just like, oh, cool snow, right? I got it, right on. But he touches the white stuff on the ground and goes, oh, it's salt, and he yells to no one, to the man next to him, actually, and the guy doesn't even acknowledge. He just looks at him. He's like, yeah, cool,
okay,
it's fucking salt. Great, we're gonna die. Thank you. But he yells it. It's salt. So we go to the end of the scene where Space Ghost Mark Hamill shows up. Space Ghost Mark Hamill is standing there, and they're like, I'll blow him up. And they're like, blast him. And they blast him with everything. And they blast him with till all their blasters are blasted. And they're out of blasters. And then the smoke clears, and Mark Hamill's still there. And he's like, got Rogaine on his beard, and he looks fine. He looks great. He looks dapper.
Yeah, he's very, very cleaned up.
He was very dapper for his final scene. But as they're standing there, it's snowing. And the reason you know that it's snowing is we'll have to hold up pictures or something.
Yeah,
we'll use this as a thumbnail. I don't.
Just get people to look at those scenes again.
If you can go back and look at those scenes, it's snowing, but is it snowing salt? Now, I know it's snowing because you go back behind the mountain where Rey parks the aluminum Falcon, and she gets out, and it's snowing over there. But is that salt? Because that man picked up the piece of salt and went, it's salt. So does it snow salt?
Yes. Is this planet snowing salt?
What's the name of the planet? Neoprene, nylon, something?
Yeah.
Is it crate?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Crate, because they were writing and in a warehouse, and they went, what do we call this? And
I can't remember what the fuck it's called. I was just
Not that it
like,
really matters. They're never going back.
they'll go back. That's the theme for Star Wars.
That's true.
They're fucking going back. I bet you in The Mandalorian, he's just going to pull up and be like, he'll get out and stick, and Baby Yoda will be all, oh, this is all salt. And then he'll explain that whole scene to me and be like, oh, it's no salt here. Oh, fuck. Or somebody will show up and be like, oh, you got to watch out. It's no salt on this planet. It's fucking incredibly salty here. We're all salty. Actually, we're very salty. And it's just a salt planet. It's a lot of fun.
And it even snows salt. It rains salt.
The air is salt. The sea is salt.
The rocks are salt.
We're all salt.
The animals are salt.
The people are made out of salt. The animals are made out of salt.
The animals are made out of salt.
These animals were made. They had crystal salt foxes. That was nice. It was salt, buddy. It's fucking everything is salt. Okay. Space Ghost. At the end of the movie, for predictions, though, they're gonna space ghost it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to do clear. I'm thinking they're going to do the clear blue.
They're going to do the blue ghosts, yeah.
And they're going to have Fisher standing there.
Because it's the end of Return of the Jedi all over again.
And they're going to have a little long coke finger on her, digitally added onto her space ghost, because she's a digital representation. Because they couldn't just flaunt her corpse around and film it that way. We have to have a computer animated.
Give Disney enough time. They'll figure out how to do that.
Well, they've already done this with Rogue One. They brought back some of the old guys.
That's right.
They've digitally added him in. And it was really creepy. So they're going to do that. So we're headed for a whole bunch of, there's computer Carrie Fisher. And we all have to pretend it's really Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
They're going to have a big memorial at the beginning, probably in memory of Carrie Fisher. And
it's going to, that's going to be all over the place.
Here's a weird prediction right now. Hamill dies right before this movie releases. Is that blasphemy?
Ooh.
That's not a curse. He won't die if I don't put a death curse on him. I'll tell you how death curses work later. I'll tell you.
You got experience with that. But
I'll tell you the story of
the David Bowie, right?
Well.
Oh, that's right. It was
Tom Petty.
Petty, yeah, that's it.
Tom Petty. I killed Tom Petty with my death curse. I found out later it was fentanyl, but I probably used my spirit powers to. I'll tell that story.
Because he took all the hotel parking.
Yeah, so I went to New York for work, and because I'm an idiot, I was like, yeah, I'll go to New York because that sounds like a fun vacation spot. Because we're based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, for the people that don't know this. So I was like, yeah, New York sounds fun. That sounds great. It's a fun destination, and it was. I had a great time. But we were staying in New Jersey. That was my hotel, and New Jersey was not fun. It is very much not fun. And we were staying right next to the Jersey Devils Stadium at the Holiday Inn, I think it was. And when a concert goes off in that particular area, they use all the parking for the concert at the hockey stadium there. Well, I had already been at training for something all day long for the reason I was out there. When I came back, and there was no parking at all besides reserved parking. Long story short, I ended up taking parking that was reserved for somebody else. It had a cone and a thing taped on it, and I got out and picked up the cone and I threw it over the wall. I don't know if somebody probably found it, but I was like, I paid money for this parking spot, so fuck you. Nobody told me anything either. Somebody was really hurt inside because they were like, well, where did you park? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I paid for it. But while I was looking for a parking spot, like a good, wholesome person, trying to do the right thing, do the right Christian thing, I realized that there were no parking spots. And so I fucking put a curse on whoever was in that building. And I said, fucking damn you, whoever's in that building and whoever's putting this concert on. And I shook my fist at the building. And I asked one of the guys in the parking lot later, I was like, well, who's in there? What's all this parking about? And he's like, well, it's a Tom Petty concert. Tom Petty's here. And as you all know, Tom Petty is dead now. This happened a month after I put the death curse on him. Because I said, damn you, Tom Petty, right in front of the man. I said, damn you, Tom Petty. I put a curse on you. I'm putting a curse on Tom Petty. And I told the man in the parking lot, I'm putting a curse on Tom Petty. Damn you, Tom Petty. And as I'm sitting at work, about a month or so later, it came up in the news that he had died. And I fucking sat there going, and I looked at my hands and I was like, I why he did this. I killed him. I killed Tom Petty. And I'm a firm believer that I put a death curse on Tom Petty. I've been putting curses on lots of people that I don't like lately, and nobody else has died, though. I put one on John Mayer a couple of years ago.
You used it too early.
I'm hoping it's got to build up steam.
Yeah.
But the problem is that what if it has a reverse effect? Or I only had one curse. I could only curse one time.
You used it, yeah. That's like I said. You used it up.
But I'm not like Harry Potter. I can't just magic curse whenever the fuck I want. What if I only have one curse and I can only really launch that out into the ether one time and put a death curse on somebody once? So, lesson learned to everybody: be careful who you put a curse on.
Yeah. So not that we're trying to put a death curse on Mark Hamill right now.
I might have,
but
I'm worried because who knows? Who knows? I killed Tom Petty. I still believe that. I'm sorry. Allegedly, I did. Allegedly, it was actually fentanyl. I guess I heard the story the other day. He was looking for pain pills at a concert, and he was getting ready to go on a show, and he went out and went up to the first like shady looking dude that he found, and he's like, "Man, I need pills."
Oh my God.
And he thought they were regular pain pills. And I love Tom Petty, so let's make that all clear that I didn't wish ill will upon him or anybody else. But I guess that's how he passed away, is that he took it and there was fentanyl inside those pills.
Yeah.
And the dose was too crazy and it fucking overdosed him and he died.
Wow.
I guess he had cardiac arrest or heart failure is what they said at first, but it was brought on by fentanyl. Allegedly, that's what I've heard just recently. But I don't think Mark Hamill is addicted to pain pills that I know of.
No, if he is, he's holding it down really well.
Well, don't we all?
Don't we all?
Don't we all? But I think since Hamill has to carry these films because he's a ghost now, right? They're gonna be able to use Hamill to come cash in a quick check every once in a while. Hamill, I need you in this Disney Plus series real quick where you can come guide so and so to their whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll pay him some money. He'll be like, well, the Joker thing's kind of over. He can't really do much with Batman, so he's like, okay, I'll come out and do another Luke Skywalker, which is good for him.
Yeah, sure.
He's working at the point where he can just kind of come in and be like, yeah, okay, I'll do your lines, and then go back to fucking around. Like Harrison Ford, he does that. He's doing a movie now where he's like, they're like, there's a Disney Plus one, right? Where he's with the dog. What's this whole thing about him with the dog?
I don't know. He's just doing. He'll do these kind of feel-good movies.
Harrison
sometimes.
Ford is on an adventure with a dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what the story is. What's it called? It's about to come out, but he doesn't even know what it's about. Harrison Ford shows up and he's like, yeah, where's the script? Okay, cool. And my check? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go put my costume on and we'll get this started.
Well, it's like Morgan Freeman with the dolphin movies.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Morgan Freeman, you can just have him do whatever.
Yeah.
But
I remember there being like a quote where I think he was at a press junket and somebody saying, like, why are you making like all of these like dolphin movies? And he's like, for the money.
Duh. Duh. It's
like that Bill Murray at the end of Zombieland where he's like, drugs cost money.
Yeah, drugs cost money.
Why are you making a third Garfield movie? Well,
he has to fucking do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only good part of that. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah.
That was a spoiler for the new Zombieland. And thanks, Ross. You just dropped that bomb on everybody. Bill Murray's at the end of the new Zombieland. And he's coming out of like the junket for Garfield 3. And he's like, I need drug money bad. That's basically why he was doing Garfield 3. Simple writing scheme. But he was the best part of the movie. It's like, fuck, we just do a whole movie.
The movie ends, and you're like, well, what was that? And then they just...
The rest of it was so drag-ass. They did have that guy Albuquerque, which I was like, that's a cool nod, but he's kind of a douche that dies.
Something weird, and maybe I'm just like misremembering it. I remember when like the first couple trailers for the first Zombieland came out like 10 years ago. I remember... Tallahassee's name wasn't Tallahassee in those trailers. He was calling himself Albuquerque. And so I'm wondering if that's just sort of like a nod to like an old version of the script.
I don't know. I think here you have a Bernstein moment.
It might be.
It might be. Bears moment where everybody thinks they're the Bernstein Bears and they're really the Bearstein Bears or whatever. Bernstein is the name, but everybody calls them the Bernstein
The Bernsteins,
Bears.
yeah.
And if you fucking go back and look at those old books, if you want a real mind fuck, you go back and look at those old books because they say Bernstein.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And I'm dyslexic anyway, so don't fucking trust me to read anything the right way. So I was like, Bernstein, sounds good. And I never questioned it ever again. I was like,
Yeah.
They're bears. I get it. Bears. Bearstein. Cool. They're Jewish. Bearsteins.
Something
They're Jewish bears.
made
they go
popular. All those popular.
They're
books
still
that
going.
they're still going. Yeah.
Yeah, the books are still going. Good for them.
Yeah.
So Carrie Fisher's dead.
Carrie Fisher's dead. Mark Hamill. So you're gonna have a cavalcade of space ghosts by the end of this movie because.
Do you think they're all gonna stand together and they're gonna have Hayden Christensen just stand around?
Oh, that was probably
and
like one of the
smile?
first things they did with Carrie Fisher when they brought her in was just like we're gonna have like this weird reunion of actors standing around and we're going to adapt that.
Do you think he's secretly been filmed? I've heard a rumor that he was asked to show up to do something
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
for Christian. It's not like he has much going on.
Yeah,
No
it
offense
just
to him. Everybody, I mean, he was horrible, and
and he
So,
probably
okay,
doesn't. Yeah.
Star Wars has a thing where they take a really great male actor and they're like, let's make him fucking do nothing. How robotic can we make this man? Adam Driver, great actor,
Right.
right? He's a
Yeah.
great actor. He's great. He's not good in the
Star
Force.
Wars.
In Force
Yeah.
Awakens, he was not. He didn't impress me. He was better in this last one we just watched.
Yeah.
But they gave him more time to kind of like they humanized him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And like I wasn't like I don't need because he breaks down in Force Awakens and fucking cries and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, you're the bad guy. I was like, we don't do that. Your dad is Harrison Ford. Also, you don't cry.
You don't. Yeah.
You don't cry
How
when your
did
dad
How
is
did
Harrison
you grow
Ford.
up?
Your dad is Indiana Jones. Shia LaBeouf went through this too. He didn't get to cry. Did he cry?
That's true. No, he didn't. He got to swing with the monkeys.
No, I think he cried.
Did he cry?
I want to fucking. Well, he cries. He cries. Shia LaBeouf cries.
Shia LaBeouf cries.
But he didn't cry in the Crystal Skull.
Not in Crystal Skull. No.
I want to fucking say he cried because I've seen too many memes of him like crying, and I'm just like thinking about him in that leather jacket crying, and I'm just like,
With the freaking
it fits.
pomaded hair just freaking breaking down.
Well, you know what the weird thing was is he wasn't bad in that movie.
No. No, I wouldn't say he was like the bad part of that movie.
The whole film just didn't work.
Yeah.
It had all the pieces. I went back and watched it recently, and I wasn't disappointed with Shia LaBeouf. I remember going into it being like, ugh,
Well, and this was
Shia LaBeouf.
this.
Oh.
I think for me it was before like I got kind of weird about Shia LaBeouf.
Well, Shia LaBeouf got weird on you.
Is it true?
You didn't
Yeah.
get weird about Shia
No.
LaBeouf. Nobody says that.
No, nobody says it true.
He got weird.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, so Crystal Skull, he didn't cry. Harrison Ford's his dad. Do you think Driver dies?
Driver dies. Driver dies.
Do you think Driver dies in the
Yeah.
new Star Wars?
Yeah.
That's your prediction?
That's my prediction.
But it's called The Rise of fucking Skywalker.
Yeah, but he's a solo.
But he's technically a Skywalker. That was my thing. We got to keep stuff off this table, man. I'm gonna fidget spin everything you have off this table. We're gonna find a place to record
we're gonna
this.
have to have just a clear empty
So if
room.
you hear me fucking with stuff in the background, it's because I'm an idiot. And I know we're recording something, and I'm like, oh, keys. And I'll fucking pick up something and be like, la 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 la, messing with it as we go. And I'll do it. Watch, I'll probably do it again later. I'll pick something else up too, and I'll be messing with whatever's on here. I'll grab something out of my pocket, or I'll pick up my phone and be looking at my phone. I'm gonna have to lock all this stuff up. I have a bad habit of fidget spinning or chewing gum too, and I have to get over that gum habit because I can't just sit here and do ASMR.
No,
and
that
be
doesn't
like,
really work with the
Boy, we're sitting here
mics.
talking.
Don't like picking that up. People don't like listening to that.
No, it'll be we can get into that whole weird fetish market of gum chewing.
True,
And
we
put
could
that out
just
there.
decide to
There's
target
probably-
that.
There's
and-
people that'll buy that, I'm sure. You know who you are. I don't think
No.
Driver dies.
You don't think so?
I don't think Driver dies. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna do another Star Wars movie.
No.
I don't think I think he'll die off camera in another episode. But I don't think he's gonna do it in this one.
No, you don't think they're gonna give him his his hero's death, his Viking funeral?
No, because he's the last of. Because they're gonna lose. The Fisher has to die.
Oh yeah.
She has to die in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can't just live. They have to kill her off.
Right.
So he's the last of that line. So they can't kill him off. They could nihilistically end the Solos, but I don't think he's going to die. I think he's going to come back and be like the fucking good guy. Because he's been trying to this whole time.
Yeah, they've been pushing for that this whole time. And
well, the space ghosts are going to start bugging him now. He's
you
going to
think
have
so?
He's gonna have fucking space ghosts. There's gonna be space ghosts up in this bitch.
Are we gonna? Okay, here's a question. Are we gonna be getting evil space ghosts? Are we gonna get like a Snoke ghost?
No, you're leading into Palpatine.
Maybe even Palpatine, but are we gonna get like a Darth Maul ghost?
You're leading. No, cause don't start me on that. We're not doing that yet. Darth Maul's alive.
He is alive.
No, he's dead.
He's a cyborg.
I don't know the timeline.
He's a cyborg.
No, Space Wizards brought him back. So I
Yeah.
didn't know this. Darth Maul's not dead. If you watch the end of the Solo movie, they're like, "Here's Darth Maul," and I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, that guy looks like Darth Maul. That's pretty cool." They brought another Darth Maul because clearly he's a species of person.
Yeah.
Right? He's a person or some kind of alien that they just look badass.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, bring more of those guys back. There's 2 Yodas. There's 3 Yodas now. There's 3 Yodas, possibly 4. I have a theory about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. I have a feeling that Yoda was beating green cheeks while he was in the Jedi Council because there was a female Yoda.
Oh, yeah.
And this
baby Yoda
is
50 years old.
Is 50 years old, is the Yaddle and Yoda baby.
Ooh.
Unless they reproduce like fucking fungi.
Just freaking
just grow
split off from
they
themselves.
Grow a spore of themselves and go from there.
Leave it in a swamp for 20 years and rises from the water.
I have a feeling he was beating green cheeks. He was lying to everybody about Jedis don't do that. And then behind closed doors, he was beating Yaddle cheeks.
Oh, I can get into all kinds of stuff about the hypocrisy of the Jedi Council the way it's said in those movies.
Everybody's beating cheeks, guaranteed.
Yeah.
What do you think that fucking Dick Conehead guy was doing? He was probably banging all kinds of weird chicks. It's Star Wars, right? That's the whole appeal is the Green Lady. Star Trek went through the whole we gotta bang green chicks. In Star Wars, there's all kinds of different kinds of chicks. They're getting banged.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. That's probably going to be what this whole movie's about is banging. It's basically going to be porn. That's my prediction. It's going to be mostly porn. Rey's going to do a topless scene, minimal. Maybe pasties on. Or it's going to be side boob. Let's do side boob. There's going to be a lot of side boob. Carrie Fisher's going to have side boob. She's dead. She can't say no. They're going to have side boob in this. And it's her
computer generated.
Her ghost will show up and she'll have side boob going. And she'll be like, oh, excuse me, I don't know how to space ghost yet. I'm still learning. And she'll fucking do a line of coke and then put her top back on. And then be like, oh, yeah, I have to tell you a story about something. And then it'll go, I don't write scripts. I just know there's going to be boobs. I have a feeling Chewbacca will die.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think they'll kill off Chewbacca.
I can see that.
Because I was watching the last film and they used him sparingly as like, I live on the ship now. They just use him for like, I just hang out on the Millennium Falcon.
He really does. He's just the uncle that just shows up to every reunion but isn't even relevant anymore.
Why the fuck does he care? He's old as shit now.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was like, a bajillion, he was there during the Clone Wars when it started. So, and he was already like grown up there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fucking old. And we can look at the facts, but he's getting to the end. His buddy Han Solo's gone. Lando Calrissian comes back for this. That's confirmed on the trailer.
Yeah.
He dies.
I can see that.
Lando dies.
Yeah.
They needed because they were like, wow, we blew our load with Han Solo. We don't have somebody to kill off in this movie. Fucking look, Billy D. Williams.
So this is just
there he is. Let's bring him back. Let's kill him.
Let's kill him off.
Because he's like
him and Chewie together at the same time.
Because he tried to work in on the Solo movie. He's like, I could still be Lando. Come on, it's me.
Could you imagine Billy D. Williams like doing the narration for Solo all the way through?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about when I knew
I'd
this.
fucking buy that for $1.
Heck yeah.
I'd fucking put in on that. He's great. You know, I keep because he's. As soon as I saw in Mandalorian, because Apollo Creed is the bad guy of the thing. What's his name? He's not Apollo Creed.
Yeah,
he's not
Weathers,
Apollo
Carl
Creed.
Weathers.
I almost called him Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. I wanted to say that in like the first episode.
I
when he
thought
walks
that's what
into
the Mandalorian
bar.
was going to do.
Yeah.
Dylan, you son of a bitch, and then shake his hand. And then I was like, oh, man, because Carl Weathers is fucking great. But I thought he was Billy D. Williams at first because I looked at him, and my brain was like, you know who that is. And I'm like, and trying to put it together. And I'm thinking Star Wars and black guy. There's only one black guy in Star Wars. It's Lando.
Yeah.
It's like I thought Lando was where he wears Han Solo's clothes. That's weird.
I'll admit I made the same mistake when I was a little kid, like going from watching Star Wars to watching Rocky.
Oh,
I
yeah.
totally mixed the two of them up.
I thought Lando Calrissian got jacked and fought the Predator.
Yeah.
He was just fucking huge. I was like, damn, he's fucking jacked. And it didn't look jacked
He's
in
so
Star
small
Wars.
in Star Wars. What happened to him?
He fucking pumped
get
iron
sick?
like fuck. Yeah, he was doing steroids. he was doing space steroids. There's been a lot of memes lately of space Vietnam.
Oh, really?
They're doing a lot of, it's all stormtroopers, space Vietnam, because they're talking about being on Endor.
Oh, okay.
Because the new film was like leaning towards we gotta fight teddy bears in space. But they call Endor Space Vietnam, and it's a Full Metal Jacket redo of the cover. I'll have to send it to you. It says in space the wind doesn't blow. It sucks.
It sucks.
It's Space Vietnam, and it's Full Metal Jacket, but it's a stormtrooper helmet instead of a fucking. It's instead of a regular helmet. It's funny as fuck.
Has it got the writing on it and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, Born to Kill.
Born to Kill.
It says cloned to kill.
Cloned to kill.
It was well done. It's a well done meme. It's tasty. It's very zesty. So we have, you know what the worst thing is I don't think any of the new cast is gonna die.
No, they're not.
Finn is gonna survive.
Yep.
Unfortunately, because he survived a fucking spaceship hitting their spaceship in hyperspace.
Yeah.
The spaceship goes into hyperspace, hits their ship. Everybody around them is dead. Everything. There's fucking body parts.
Body parts everywhere.
It's like Saving Private Ryan on the beach. There's clone troopers are holding their arms and they're like, holding their guts in, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And they get up and they're clean. They're not even dirty.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that was fucking convenient. Thanks. And then the Phantasma.
Yeah, Phasma shows up and they have a Mortal Kombat fight, like
they have
right
a
there.
Mortal Kombat fight.
It is literally framed and everything.
It
like
is. It's all
like a
2D
Mortal Kombat
scroller.
1 freaking fight.
That's right. And then they're fine. They're like, well, we don't die here. Sorry.
She inextricably
Phasma.
gets rid of all of the guns she walked into the room with.
Yeah,
in order to
you don't need guns.
in order to sword fight him.
She's gonna sword fight the Talkin black guy and the other girl because we know that he can sword fight, kind of. They established that in the last.
Because that is a very well drawn upon skill for stormtroopers.
They established that in the last movie because they're like, everybody has a fucking stick now. Everybody gets a sword. Because he runs up and fights the fucking other.
Fights the guy. He's got the
fights,
lightsaber.
The stormtrooper has a fucking glowing stick. We all have sticks. That's what Star Wars is now. They're trying to sell as many sticks as possible.
Yep.
And they're going like hotcakes. So he can fight with a stick. So they have to fight him with a stick. Because he's clearly not that good with the gun. Because he couldn't even kill a village full of innocent people. And he didn't. He was really close. I mean, he didn't even really try. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
None of them die, except maybe Rey. Rey, well, they can't kill off Rey, can they?
No, they can't kill her off.
Unless they do a fucking thing where they both die. They both blow up at the end, right? And that's the fucking. They're like, we have to end the Jedi, and that's the two last Jedi, official, what can be construed as the last Jedi, have to fight to the death, and both die. In an unfortunate event, and only the space ghosts go on to raise that one kid at the end of the last movie we saw with the ring, and he becomes he becomes the next Dark Lord. and they build a franchise off of a small child. As far as characters dying, I don't know what they're gonna do with Rey because they have Palpatine back. But what I wonder is if they're gonna use him as like a cutaway of like back in the past. They had this Palpatine left this here for this, like he's a cutaway scene or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna Meanwhile, in all of these, the Star Wars flashbacks that you're used to in all of these different movies, we're gonna get flashbacks.
Do you think it's gonna be flashback, or is he just not gonna be? He's just gonna be fucking alive. He's just fine. He's just in, and it's not even like, because you were telling me some theory about him being a clone,
or that, or he just like snuck off, or he was pulling like a Luke
fine.
Skywalker freaking living Force fine. Ghost thing. He's a Frightener's ghost.
He's a fucking ghost. I think it's safe to say that he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
I want to. The best thing ever was that it
Is it going to be like an Exorcist thing? Is he going to like possess Kylo Ren at the end, and Rey is going to have to like exorcise him?
I don't think that Adam Driver is that good of an actor, where he's going to be he's going to be forced. They won't let him act. Is what I'm saying. It's not that I think he's a great actor, but I don't think they're going to let him become another. They're not going to do Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the ghost of Danny DeVito inside his body. I don't think that's going to happen. Which, by the way, I'm fucking stoked on Jumanji.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
I fucking watch that. I'm Danny Glover and Danny DeVito.
Isn't that like this week or something that comes out?
It's dropping very soon.
Yeah.
They're actually going to try to play ball with Star Wars. And I'm going to give them good money that they actually do well.
They will hold up pretty good.
I bet they're going to do well. I was very impressed with the last one. I went into it with no expectations, and I was like, fuck, they got me. I fucking liked it. I didn't want to. I tried not to. I really did. I walked in trying not to like it.
Ready to shoot everything down.
And I watched it with my little brother, and I was like, I started laughing, and I was like, fuck, they got me with a laugh. I was like, no. I was like, it was a fluke. No, it's a fluke. And then I liked it. I was like, fuck. I just like The Rock.
Yeah.
I just like The Rock. I'll buy into whatever The Rock's doing. I just think he's a good guy, and I like his movies. He could be in fucking a pile of shit, and I'll watch it. I could watch a film with him just doing his taxes. Same with Batista. I watched that taxi one recently.
Oh, the Stuber?
Stuber.
Yeah.
I started it. It was not. I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but it's a long story. I watched it illegally.
No.
On a fucking illegal thing. I'm not going to tell you how. But I watched it illegally. But I started it. But on this illegal thing, it's streamed, so I can't pause it.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
so you either turn it on and then you're committed.
Or I went to go do something. There's no way to finish it. So I was like, but the first half, like he couldn't see because he went to the eye doctor. So like he went through this series of events to set Batista in this weird position.
Right, where he's not
like,
just destroying everybody right off the bat.
He like tries to fucking drive his own car, and he's like, fuck, I can't see shit. He's hitting shit in his car. So he has to get the Stuber because he can't see a fucking thing. And he has to go solve this case. So into your buddy cop phase movie, the killers are like internal affairs. The cops are killing other cops, kind of thing. It's good. It's fine. It's what you want out of it. I'm not saying it's an Oscar-winning performance, but I had a ton of fun. Batista dies in the new Star Wars movie. They're going to introduce Batista. He's not credited, and he's going to come in, and he's going to fucking die.
Well, we found out there's a Hobbit in this movie.
Well, there's a Hobbit, but Dominic...
Monaghan.
Was it Monaghan?
Monaghan.
Was it Mary?
It's Mary,
it's Mary. He's going to die in this movie.
He's going to die.
He's going to die.
They didn't even give his character a name on IMDb, so he's just going to show up.
He's just going to be a frigid corpse in space. In Hobbit uniform. He's going to be dressed as a Hobbit. And they're going to be like, oh, they blew up fucking Tolkien 6.
Oh, no, Middle Earth is in the Star Wars universe.
Destroyed. And the two universes will collide, and that's how they're going to run this next series out. There's going to be a buyout of Tolkien movies from Amazon, from Disney.
That's what the Amazon series is.
There will be a melding of all things in the future, and this is the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of all things that you love will be thrown to the ground and burned, or put on a cross for all to see until they rot in front of all of us. Starting with Star Wars. And I know you kids out there are thinking, no, it can't happen to me.
It can't happen.
Fortnite is forever. And then they dab.
Yeah, right.
They dab, and Fortnite is forever. Dab is forever. We do this. It's about this life. Well, that can end too. They'll take all the things you love, and they'll ruin it too. They ruined Star Wars. It'll happen to you. So as far as we have a cast list. Can you pull up a cast list or something? We know for a fact that Palpatine is back because he's been casted and everything. But I've heard, like I said, I've heard rumors that Hayden Christensen has been asked to do a thing or two. But they're keeping it a secret. Like with those, like I had a dream that Palpatine wasn't even in the fucking movie, and they would pay him to go show up, an absorbent fee, to just show up at the things and talk and pretend that he was in the movie, and then they'll be like, "Aha, just kidding. He's fucking dead. He can't come back," and they would go on to do stuff like that, and then run this fucking train into a brick wall. And just they're either going to get through and it's going to be fine, they land on their feet, or it's going to be a horrible, bloody mess. And we don't know what's going to go on with the rest of the series. They're going to have to do something as far as ending-wise. They're going to leave it open for maybe not that story to continue, but for something else to continue, because they have no interest in continuing this main storyline. It's been a fucking flop. It's been killing the series since they relaunched it. They're not going to do anything. I think they're barely going to avoid getting away with keeping the Jedi thing alive for something to keep going. They're going to keep doing it because that's what people want to see. They want the same old weebs and crybabies that love Star Wars. They need Jedis.
Yeah, you need space magic.
You have to have that kind of shit, or you don't have that's nothing to them. If you don't have a lightsaber, it's not Star Wars. So they're going to keep that alive somehow. As far as how they're going to put it together, I don't know.
Does Domhnall Gleeson, the General Hux guy, is he dead or alive?
Guy?
Yeah.
The ginger guy?
Ginger guy, yeah.
Oh, I don't even fucking care if he dies. He's a useless dead man. I thought he was, no offense to him, he was great as like a weird, almost comedic fucking filler guy on the side for fucking Kylo Ren to yell at, but he's gonna explode. I see his death. He's gonna blow up.
He's gonna have like do you think it'll be like a comical death? Like
no, fuck no. He's gonna blow up. He's gonna blow up, and the fucking starship will crash into the planet or something.
Yeah, there've been like as far as like bad guy defeats, I've noticed like they've been like really unsatisfying every single time.
It has to. He's gonna blow up in something.
Yeah. You had Phasma. She just like falls down a fiery hole in the floor.
Yeah, they had the cutaway, and they wouldn't even show her face because they'd have to pay her extra money. That's how Hollywood works.
There it is. Yeah.
They had Phasma in there, and she looks, and you can see eye contact because the actors, to act, you gotta have eye contact. Sorry for clapping my hands. I talk with my hands a lot. You have to have that for that fucking scene, and that's just for fucking decency. Give her the the look.
Give it, yeah.
They should have took the helmet off for fuck's sake.
Have.
It was really fucked up how they did her. I don't remember her name, but she was in Game of Thrones. And she was great. She was Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. And she's fantastic. But they just used her as like a fucking whatever death. They were just like, because they hyped her up to be some big fucking deal since The Force Awakens, and then she fights with her little switch, and then falls. She might not even be dead. Dig that.
Yeah.
What if she's not fucking dead? Is she billed in the cast?
I don't know. They could
her.
they could make her a cyborg. I don't know.
She's a Terminator.
She'd be a Terminator.
This
comes
is
up
the bridge
and
between the T-800. It becomes back. It's no longer Arnold. She's just Brienne of Tarth.
She would be a terrifying cyborg.
She could. She can be.
Yeah,
bad guy
that could be pretty good. Yeah.
I didn't get to see this last one. You don't have to go. I owe myself a fucking viewing of the new Terminator film. I've seen almost everyone since. I have not seen Terminator 2 in theaters. I was way too young to go see Terminator 2. Though I did see Terminator 1 when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And my father exposed me to a lot of things I didn't need to see when I was that young. RoboCop. Lots of great movies for little kids. And I would always ask questions. His little kids ask questions. And I'd be like, Dad, why is he cutting his eyeball out? And because the Terminator, he cuts his eyeball out with the pin knife. Yeah. And I was like, my dad's like, oh. He's
not
weird.
Real.
No,
he's
like, I don't know, he's weird. It's not real. He's like, I don't know, he's weird. Don't fucking do that, please. Because I was like,
do people do this?
No, it never entered my mind. Thank God. I can be honest.
Thank God.
Remembering back that far, I know because I remember this moment, and I never was like, I could cut my eye out. I was never like, should I cut my eye out? I was never that kid where I was like, I had enough sense where I was like, I know I'm not a robot. I get the concept that he's a fucking robot, but his eye cut out his eye. That's a bit much. Why is he doing that? And my dad's like, don't fuck. He's like, don't fucking do that. Just he's weird. That was his answer for a lot of things. I don't know. He's weird. Just don't look at it. And I'd be like, okay,
All right.
cool.
All right.
And that'd be enough. I'd be like, all right. And then I was fine. These kids these days, you can't watch shit like that. I grew up fine. I watched Terminator, and there's a lot of exploding testicles and things like that in that movie. You're not supposed to see that when you're little, and I did. And I feel like I'm fine.
Yeah.
But they're not going to have any of that in Star Wars. They should have exploding testicles in Star Wars. Like Kylo Ren just crashes his speeder bike and it blows up he blows his testicles.
That's his origin story.
Yeah, that's why he walks. He's not a limp on his leg anymore. He's a fucking exploded testicle. One of his balls blew up when he wrecked his bike, and he has like not only does he have a synthetic robot parts, but they have synthetic balls, and it's going to be mostly porn. Like I said, it's going to be mostly like a theme or setup for porn. But I don't know what else they're going to do with it. On a serious note, I have been trying to put thoughts together on like how they're going to pull out of this film, and I have no idea what they're going to do. Abrams has come back to redo the script.
Right.
Or is he directing?
He's directing, but he's working on. I think he's teamed up to write it with Chris Terrio. No, with Chris Terrio.
Ooh. I don't know who that is.
Chris Terrio's the guy who did Batman vs Superman. Wrote that.
Wow, this is gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's one of the worst movies.
Yeah.
I've never finished it.
Oh, we haven't.
I've never watched it all the way through. I've tried.
I went into it like just very clinically. That's kind of the way, and that's probably the way I'm gonna go in and watch Rise of Skywalker. Is just very clinically.
I have managed to disconnect myself emotionally.
You kind of have to at this point.
I've disconnected myself emotionally from all of this. I've killed it on purpose because I was like, I knew where we were headed.
Yeah.
It's like, and I can't invest adult emotional feeling into this. I have to kill it now. Kill it now.
Kill it.
But I don't know what they're going to fucking do. I know they have a lot of cool locations.
Oh, it's going to look great.
Well, they're going to make their money off of how it looks because they're selling this film
they got
to China.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about that. Why was there a Chinese girl in the film? Out of nowhere. Why?
Yeah.
Tell me, Ross. Tell me. I'm not being racist. I'm serious. Why was it? Because they wanted to appeal to a Chinese audience. It's going out to China, too. They're not just making this movie for you and me. They don't give a fuck about the American dollar as much anymore. They want Chinese money.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese spend a lot of fucking money on that stuff.
No, they got to.
Believe it or not.
Well, and, you can only make money so many times a year off of China.
Yeah.
Because they only let something like, I think, at maximum, like a dozen
That's
movies come over for wide release in China.
Star Wars is one of them.
They got the slot, and so
That's
they're gonna use the heck out of it.
You bet your fucking ass. Marvel and Star Wars, Disney gets through the door.
Yeah.
They get through the door in China. We can talk about this on a later date because I was watching Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big controversy over Iron Man 3. Everybody over here freaked out.
Yeah.
Because if you're not familiar with comic book characters, they have the Mandarin is a big villain for Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane Black had to write, and I think he wrote and direct Iron Man 3. He did,
yeah.
We'll talk about directors later on.
Yeah, we'll be getting all into Shane Black later.
But he put that in the film, and they changed out the Mandarin. He's not Chinese at all. He's like this guy is a cover for this organization, and they did. I think they did a really good job. I fucking like Iron Man 3. A lot of people don't like it because they're like they wanted this big fight, but they just came off of the first Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 3 is right after the first Avengers. You can't, and it's like such a small cast in a small film that it works.
Yeah,
and it worked beautifully because you just let Robert Downey Jr. act. Just let him go, and he does great on his own. And they did a great thing. They worked around like big budget bad guys. Everybody wants big, 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 but they wouldn't remember Iron Man 3. Either way.
Yeah.
I think coming off of Avengers, nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. Same with Iron Man 2. Mickey Rourke disappears for like fucking an hour of that movie. Like, isn't he the bad guy? Mickey Rourke is the
Mickey
bad
Rourke
guy.
is the main bad guy, and he's like in the beginning, like one scene in the middle, and he shows up right at the very end.
And he ain't even in the fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
And nobody fucking gives a shit about Iron Man 2, but that one was a stinker. That was a stinky movie. Iron Man 3 pulled up out of that. He did fine. But I digress. We got sidetracked bad.
Yeah.
What were we talking about as far as what they're going to do with they're selling the film to China. It's going to look beautiful. But as far as their locations, basically they're going to fill up a bunch of fluff. Here's the real talk. Let me give you the straight dick on what's going to happen here on this episode. I think they have to end the Skywalker thing no matter what.
Yeah.
They have to end with the duel, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of who dies at the end, which they've already filmed multiple endings. There's 15 or so. How many endings are there? They got out.
There's rumored something like up to 6. I think is the most that I've heard.
6?
That's
like
what
15.
the rumors. Yeah.
So there's multiple endings for this film. They recently chose a final ending at the beginning of December of 2019. That's cutting the fucking wire pretty close to how they want to end this fucking movie. But they've shot multiple endings to this film and tested multiple ones. So the director didn't even know what the fuck was going to happen. So it's going to be a messy film.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a clusterfuck.
Well, it's Batman versus Superman was a messy film, and like it's both like the production problems and stuff don't really help. All the reshoots and things, all the rumors and the going around it. All of the plot holes that they have to fill up from the last movie, and the fact that it's Chris Terrio that they're trusting to do this. Chris Terrio his stories tend to just ramble, like Batman versus Superman is just a ramble from beginning to end.
I can't tell you what happens in it, and I know that they're supposed to fight. I know that they're supposed to fight, and I know that they wasted Doomsday on Doomsday on BV Superman. So they fucking ruined everything. They ruined their whole Justice League plotline.
And so it's going to be a whole lot of spectacle. Don't expect any of the plot to actually string together. People are going to pick apart this plot like crazy by the end of this.
We can expect that because they already. That's why I was talking about the 2 plots or the 3 plots earlier, because they're going to have. You have to have something to carry you from scene to scene.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a vehicle to cut away. Because you don't want to use up all your good shots on the Jedi stuff.
No.
You have to have some fucking filler in there.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some random shit happen. So we saw in the last trailer, they were flying the aluminum Falcon, but there was no Chewbacca inside. They were cutting around. They showed Poe and Finn.
Yeah, and then you got Lando.
And Lando
shows up in a
but
scene.
I didn't see Chewbacca inside that trailer. Did you? Flying around in the Millennium Falcon?
So do you think they're going to take him out early on?
I don't know.
That'll be kind of the emotional core motivating the rest of the story.
Well, they're trying. The whole point of this film is they're trying to kill off all the originals.
Yeah.
So they can walk away from it. So they don't have to reboot them or bring back like old cast members. They're killing what everybody loved about the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hate to put it that way bluntly, but they're killing it off. So Chewbacca's gonna get fucking smoked.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think as far as early. They're probably going to go to after the first 30.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're lead in on your first 30 on your script, and then something happens.
Then, yeah.
A motivator for the plot. At that point, that's when the gears start turning. That's how most movies work. I'm not saying every movie works that way, but almost. Since they've had to build up the end so much, the first 30 is going to be your wind-up. They probably had it set right away.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably, within the first 30, it might happen. We're getting down to the wire on like really specifics on where they're going to die, because he could just get fucking blown up for no reason.
Mm-hmm. They could just Bryan Cranston.
He could be on fire like Richard Pryor and just run down the street on fire and fucking, you know what I mean, high on crack and fucking be dead that way. You don't, because I don't know, because Ryan Johnson was like, I have to subvert your expectations. We have to do something different.
Yeah.
And he fucking fucked everything up. No offense to him, I don't know how the fuck you were going to make this Star Wars movie and walk away with that shit on your hands or shit on anything else. Abrams set it up to fucking fail. He can start something, but he'll never
Let's see how he does trying to finish something finally.
They let him finish it, which I'm surprised that happened because he was going to try to walk away. And he's like, I'm going to go fucking do what he got signed up to do something else, another franchise, right?
Something, and I think it was just like Star Trek started to really fall through. I think he was hoping to jump back and.
I don't think he was quoted to do anything Star Trek wise.
No.
I think people wanted him out. Honestly, his first movie was a good movie, but it wasn't a good Star Trek movie. The second one has major flaws, which I didn't have that pointed out to me. But the second one was a good Star Trek movie. It was because it paid off a lot of other Star Trek things. We could talk about this later too if you want to. The third one was the best one.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I don't know if you've seen it.
I've just seen it in parts. I need
like
to sit down and
episode.
actually watch it all the way through.
It's like a Star Trek episode.
That's kind of what it felt like to me.
There was no grandiose anything. It's a small story. I think Pegg wrote that one. I think it's a Simon Pegg.
I think that is Simon Pegg's
It was my favorite one because they took time to pay tribute to Leonard Nimoy had passed away, and they tiptoed through the tulips on the whole time travel paradox thing.
Yeah.
Because they even talk about that because they're like, well, Ambassador Spock passed away, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I died. And he has a whole moment where he's like,
where it all goes to.
And he's in there with Carl Urban. Carl Urban's great. I'll watch him do his taxes or take his trash out.
Yeah,
I'll be
Carl
like,
Urban's another great one.
Fantastic. We got to talk about The Boys too. I'm gonna make you watch it.
You're gonna make me watch it. Yep.
We'll talk about that later. We'll have to do a whole thing on The Boys. But as far as Abram coming back into it, I have zero faith in any of this anymore. I want it to do well. I think he's good enough to pull. If anybody can pull something together like this, it's Abrams.
You think so?
I think that's why he gets called to do these projects anyway, because you've talked about it before. He doesn't have to give a fuck. Even if he fucks it up, he's got enough irons and other fires that he can walk away. They also have the interest involved with they're trying to appeal to the Chinese market, not just us.
No.
So your number one opinion of how you feel about the movie.
Domestic box office is not as big a factor here.
Well, and they don't make that much money from domestic.
No.
They're going to make pretty good money, and maybe they'll break a record this year.
Yeah.
But they're not going to beat Endgame.
No.
That's a fucking
that's for sure.
That's a Babe Ruth call.
We can really get into kind of the whole thing about this culture in Hollywood right now of just the 100% trying to go for the billion dollar plus box office returns, and just kind of how that's
to make.
Well, it's that it's become so much more common.
I think it'll break $1 billion.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it's going to beat Endgame. I want to say that it also depends on how long are they going to run fucking Star Wars in the theaters, because Endgame ran for a while and then they re-released Endgame. Let that stayed on the record. So that still counts towards money made for Endgame, which I've never seen the remake. I'm waiting to watch it on Plus. They have the extended or changed ending, I guess, where they added something. I don't know what it is. No spoilers. But they ran that motherfucker again, and it still made money again.
Yep.
People went back to watch it again.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. That's the whole idea of these massive returns is you have to get people seeing it again and again and again.
And they figured out how to do it. But by God, they fucking were like, let's just re-release it. Like Avatar, we'll talk about it.
Avatar was like, what? They had a 7-month run with Avatar?
We'll do a whole fucking thing on Avatar. I have a fucking problem with Avatar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can
fucking come up with something. I'll say some horrible things. We're gonna get fucking blackballed in Hollywood.
But you had like going with that whole the culture in Hollywood right now. I don't know if you saw Harvey Keitel recently had comments, sort of continuing on what Scorsese was talking about. We can get into all of that and make a whole thing about that.
You want to talk about how Scorsese said that comic book movies aren't real movies?
Yeah, they're like amusement park rides, and so Keitel was kind of running along with that too.
That statement too.
Well,
didn't Scorsese?
He clarified them. He clarified them.
Well,
he did that whole. What was it? It was like a New York Times op-ed that he wrote.
Give us what's the real talk? What's real talk? Because I know he was like, yeah. But I don't think he was implied towards. I don't think he wanted to be tied to the Joker because of the comic book movie thing.
No,
there's a lot of. So, you're considered a sellout if you break down and do a fucking superhero movie. At this point, it's the easy money. That's what everybody else is doing. Let's talk about. Like one of my favorite films of the year, probably my top film of the year is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it fucking did well. And neither of those guys broke down and did a fucking comic book movie. Neither Brad Pitt nor DiCaprio have done a comic book movie. And they have, I want to say Margot Robbie is the only one who was like, well, I'm here, I guess. But she fucking doesn't do anything in that movie. She just kind of hangs out. And the whole, we could talk about that whole film. I love that movie.
Yep.
I loved it. It's the only thing, even over the Joker, it has had a lasting impact on me. Where I will think about that movie, and I'm like, I will think about the things they did with it, and just like how the film laid out. I was like, fuck, I loved it. Like it was just so, it just fit the mood for me perfectly, and it was just so well done.
Well, it was one of the few movies this year that I actually went back to theaters to.
Did you go watch it again?
To watch it again.
Oh, goddamn! I didn't get to go. I was like,
well, no, actually, I think when I went with you, it was actually the second time I'd seen it.
No shit, I didn't know that. Yeah, I was like, I got to go see this right now. I was like, I went out of my way to go see it.
Yeah.
Dropped plans. I told girls, I can't. You have to go away. You have to go away. Canceled a date, I think, for it because I was supposed to meet somebody, and I was like. A date with destiny.
We got a date with Tarantino.
Yeah, I have a date with my friend Ross. I have to go. Fucking loved that movie, dude. And it was neither of those guys did that. And Tarantino is avoiding the subject altogether. He's not doing any fucking comic book movies. He's on the end of his run now.
He talks about the Star Trek thing, but that's just.
I think he's going to do it. And
you think so?
Well, I think he's the only one who can. I have a tremendous faith after watching. You saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. We can talk about this in depth.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole film was an homage to that lost part of TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they would have these serialized Westerns, and there was a ton of them on that are just lost. This was a big thing in TV. Before they could record everything, they would just air it, and then the film would last and maybe go somewhere. Maybe it would disappear.
Yeah, depending on the success of the show, the budget that they had.
Star Trek was one of those.
Yeah.
Star Trek was a Western in space.
Yeah.
And it's formalized in the same way. And I saw how he cared about that type of thing.
That whole era.
Whole era of film.
Of entertainment,
in general. Not just Westerns, but that time in Hollywood. And Star Trek, these Star Treks are mirrored off of that.
Yeah.
They're an echo of that past of Hollywood. They're not doing Next Generation. They're doing the original Star Trek, which is based off of that Western, that cowboy attitude, where we're going to go in, pull into this planet or pull into this town, and we're going to have to solve a problem. We're going to have to help. We're the roaming bounty hunter or sheriff or whatever at that time. And I don't know if you watch the original series very much, but it fits like that. It's great because you just go, you set up your thing. At the beginning, your problem at the beginning of the episode, and then you solve it by the end of the episode. You arc it all the way through. You have a couple of things that'll carry over to other episodes, but for the most part, they're just like, fuck it. We're just going to solve this problem here. Small stories, bam, bam, bam. And that's what I think he's going to do. I think he has the fucking, put that in your predictions episode. I think it's going to, if he does pull it off and does do it, I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
That could. He was the one guy who's shown like, any real actual interest in.
Well, and it doesn't have to be bloody because the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood doesn't get your Tarantino wink because he winks at you at the end with that fucking carnage at the end.
Yeah.
The fucking it made everybody go like, oh fuck, like it was like, oh fuck, the violence just came so fast, like came out of nowhere.
Comes out of nowhere, yeah.
And I was like, yes, yes, and I was like fucking shouting. I was celebrating in the theater. I was like, they did it because they set up that flamethrower. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
They set up in the beginning, and I was like clapping before. I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I was like, I'm playing I know what they're going to do with that. I hope. And they got it there. I fucking clapped. I was like, he fucking did. He knows what I want, and he fucking gave it to me.
Yeah.
It's like he wants to see somebody burn with this fucking flamethrower. Well, I was like, bet your ass. We're fucking burning somebody with a flamethrower at the end of this movie. But he's a legend, man. I mean, not all of his films are the best, and you can nitpick and say what you want about Tarantino, but he creates fucking moments like no other. He can set up a fucking film, and we have a whole later episode we'll dedicate to Tarantino, and I'll continue to suck his dick through this microphone whenever possible. But we're talking about Star Wars because I got lost on it again. Man, they're gonna do a lot of locations because I see a lot of ice.
They're going to do
They
a lot
did
of
do
locations. I got a feeling, though, like, been thinking about it. Been thinking about all these movies that are supposed to kind of end an era of, of a franchise. They almost always have, like, drag-ass endings that just keep on going and going and going. Like, Return of the King is one.
You want to say
Or
Return
just-
of the King has a drag ass ending?
It kind of does, you know,
Whoa.
like it's a long time from when they like return back to the Shire, and you're like, when are you guys gonna fade to black? Like, what is?
Oh well, but
You know.
you were worried about having the scarring of the Shire in there. Is that what you're talking about? 'Cause
Well,
that was removed.
there's that, but it's like
The scarring of the Shire is a chapter in the books
that was never made it into the movies.
that they did a piece of it. There was in the extended versions. There's a piece of it because Wormtongue and Saruman are left, and they attack the Shire after
Yeah.
they're thrown out of Isengard.
Yeah,
And they set up shop in the Shire to try to ruin and corrupt what's left of the hobbits in their city. And the hobbits, who are now trained warriors and survivors of this great quest, crush Saruman, and it's badass. But anyway, that wasn't in there, and they do have this whole soft finish of the book ending.
yeah,
But that's how you have to end that kind of stuff.
right.
Did you
Well,
have
and
is that your
that's kind of
problem?
my prediction for this is that they're going to get through the fun stuff. Well, I mean, this is a long movie. This is going to be like
Oh,
I'm
fuck
pretty sure
yeah.
it's like the longest of
I can't.
the Star Wars movies.
I can't drink the.
It's going to be
fucking
like
soda
3
at
hours
all.
long.
Well, this
And
is
so
this is the same rule where I can't bring something to drink during
Yeah,
the movie because
you're just not going to make
I'll
it
put a
through.
catheter in maybe. I used to date a nurse. I'll see if I can get a favor pulled. I'll say it's a kink thing, but we're really just going to Star Wars.
Or just
I just need to be able to pee comfortably
But
and not have people judge me.
you're going to have it where, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a great example of how to do a long movie.
Yes.
But I got a feeling Star Wars, they're going to get through the main adventure in the first 2 hours, and they are going
Whoa.
to spend the next hour on the ending.
You're saying they're gonna just boil everything down at the end?
That they're going to, just like over-explain, and
I
such and
think
such went off and did such
They're
and
gonna
such.
fucking
and
do
such,
triple ending again. Do you think they're gonna triple end it?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, that sucks. I didn't like that. I don't like triple endings. I would. You know what? You might be right. But I want to say that they fucking end it with a fucking teddy bear picnic kind of thing, with a happy ending.
That
I
would
wanna
be
say
the
that they walk away
preferable
from
way
it
that they do.
Because
yeah.
they're gonna do a soft landing.
Yeah.
They're gonna do soft landing. Game of Thrones soft landing. Because in Game of Thrones they did a soft landing to walk away. They kill off Daenerys, and then they're like, Jon Snow's like, I don't want to be the king.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I can't be the king.
gonna pull a Frodo and just like get on a boat and leave.
I gotta
Bye,
get
guys.
the fuck out of here. He's like, I
Yeah.
gotta get down to fucking go hang out on the. I sure love being in the Night's Watch and being sad on a fucking cold mountain. I'm gonna go do that. But I think they're gonna do something like that because they're
Yeah.
gonna have to soft burn it. Because that's the only way you can walk away from something like this. Like remember Endgame, how Endgame has a soft ending too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They walk away from it softly. You can't. The big ending came from the first Avengers Endgame movie, like the what's it called? The first one that they did, the first 3
No,
hours.
yeah,
of
yeah.
fucking
Infinity War. Yeah.
Infinity War, where they fucking all get their asses kicked, and you're just like, fuck, that's an amazing ending.
Yeah.
You walk away from that film, and you're like,
Yeah.
man, dazed and confused because you're like, and then they fucking do such a good job walking away from that, and they continue that story beautifully. Like, not a lot of people. Some people are like, oh, I didn't like it as much, but they did it so. It was so well crafted how they walked out of it.
Yeah. But like, so, kind of connecting two things we've been talking about.
You
can-
thinking Captain America is going to be in the last Star Wars movie?
No, what I'm thinking,
Oh.
what I want to do is like just talking about endings. Is you've got the ending to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Right.
Where it just like ramps up the tension out of nowhere, hits you hard
I
with
would
it,
love a bloodbath at
And
the end
then-
of this movie.
and then just like boom, happy ending. He goes over to Sharon Tate's house,
Right.
for a drink. That's the Lord of the Rings ending with the Shire Reckoning.
Right.
Is you think you're going into like a just a soft ending and stuff. Shire Reckoning happens. You ramp up the kind of the tension for a real brief moment, and then boom, like cut
Then
out.
you
Then
Well, yeah, because then it's gonna go. they'll cut it like that, like at the end of fucking the other ones. That's how they would cut away, and that's what I'm thinking they're gonna fucking do, because they're gonna be like, and jazz hands.
Yeah.
And they're gonna end it with the jazz hands. Pull the curtain down and we'll walk away.
They're gonna stare off into the sunset. You know, just
whoever's left alive.
Whoever's left alive. You know, is just gonna.
Left. Fuck, I don't know, dude. There's gonna have somebody survive, but as far as like, so the business side of it, that's what freaks me out, because like I don't know, nobody here is walking back on set again for Star Wars.
No,
there ain't no fucking way. You have.
Are they gonna kill? We know they're gonna kill C-3PO off. Are they gonna kill R2-D2 off?
No. Well, how do you know they're gonna kill C-3PO off?
I don't know. I kind of almost want this kind of. I want
you wishing death on him?
I'm kind of wishing, but I'm wishing like an awesome death on those characters.
You want them to fucking die? They can't die. No.
I mean,
no. You're fucking thinking Tarantino too much. Tarantino would have already fucking killed them. They don't die. You can't. You got to sell bumper stickers, man.
Yeah.
You can't sell bumper stickers if R2-D2's dead. Where they fucking, that's how half of their coffee mug revenue is fucking the 2 droids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't get rid of them. They're not gonna, because they just rebuild them. For little kids, you can't fucking kill the side asshole, the fucking side funny guy that hangs out. You don't kill them. That's gonna fuck little kids up. Because they're the little ones. The little kids are the ones that stand on the side whenever like they're watching parents talk. They're basically your R2-D2 and 3CP.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
They're the kids watching the adults go. You know.
You can't fucking just kill them, because the kid's gonna be like, "Oh my god, like, no one is safe." You can't do that in this movie. We have to have a soft landing. The bad guy will die.
Yeah.
And I think they introduced the bad guy to kill off. Now it's either Kylo Ren will die, or the Emperor's not dead. So he's going to come back, and they're going to have to kill the Emperor and be like, haha, that's fucking easy way out of this movie. The Emperor showed back up. Let's fucking kill him instead. Or the Emperor will reach out to Kylo Ren, bring him back into the folds of the dark side a final time.
Yeah. And
then Rey will come and pull him out, because they're hinting at Rey going to the dark side.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think she's going to do that.
No.
I think she'll be tempted. Because we have a lot of Christ allegories going here. We got a lot of Christian walking the line stuff. Can't go to the dark side. I don't think that's going to happen. I think as far as overall, we need to have somebody die, a bad guy wise.
Yeah.
We're going to have those Empire dudes they're toast.
They're toast.
They're going to blow up. That's why they brought that guy back, the redhead dude. What were we talking? Admiral fuckface.
Whatever. Yeah.
He's dead. They need to kill somebody off. They have a bunch of stormtroopers that can just die in explosions and genocide of the stormtroopers. But as far as the 2 main characters, do you think they're going to kill off Kylo Ren as like a end to the slaughter, or is he going to have his redemption? Because they're leading into his redemption.
I think they're leading it towards his death as his redemption.
Oof. That's a pretty good way to fucking end things. He's going to end things by ending himself.
Yeah.
Take that to the fucking bank, kids. Because I don't think Rey is going to do shit.
No.
She's fucking useless. She's just a fucking... She is your... I'll carry you through the film character. Because Finn was your guy the first time around, yeah. Where he's like, I'm the fucking don't know what's going on. Because you need a guy in the movie that asks a lot of stupid questions. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm Harry Potter. I don't fucking know what's going on. Harry Potter is that fucking guy for the whole series. Well, what the fuck is that, Ron? And Ron's like, it's a fucking car. It flies. What? Duh. It's like, what the fuck are you asking so many questions for? Shut up. Nobody says that in Harry Potter, because you need that guy to ask dumb questions, so you don't have to ask the fucking questions. Because you can't just Twitter fucking J.K. Rowling. She'll tell you Dobby had a 10-inch dick or something. She doesn't fucking know anymore what's happening. She doesn't care. You need to have that guy. And Rey's going to be that we have to get answers. We have to seek. Because you don't have a Luke Skywalker anymore. He didn't give a fuck. He's on retirement, and he lives in a fucking... He drinks weird titties, milk, titty juice. I think that's where it's going to go. And she's going to be your guide in. She's just going to be fine, and then return back to the ether of which she came. Not be part of, like... Because she's just going to go off and wander.
Yeah.
And maybe they can pull a movie out of her if things don't work out later on. Because she'll... Maybe... Because walking away from Star Wars is like walking away from a bad car wreck. Like, some people aren't going to make it out. Some people are.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will be able to go back and forth to Star Wars and it'll be fine. Some people are going to be stuck as Star Wars guy forever. And I think Adam Driver is the only one who's going to walk away from that car wreck. I think, what's her name? Rey is going to be stuck as fucking Rey forever in our minds. And she's going to be having to come back as Rey for something.
She needs to
Unless
yeah,
she
she's
dies.
gonna she's gonna need to make unless her character dies, yeah.
Unless her character dies. Because Driver is not coming back, dude.
No.
No way.
No way.
He's the only one that can walk away from this car wreck. I've envisioned this. Harrison Ford was the one from the last one.
Yeah.
As far as the car wreck of Star Wars, this look at your history. Do you think Hayden Christensen walked away from that car wreck?
No. He
Who made it out of that one? Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman made it.
Natalie Portman was in the back seat and the airbags went off and she's like, "Oh, fucking got out and dusted herself off," because fucking Ben Kenobi, what's his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. I love him to death, but he didn't fucking make it out of that one either. He was horribly maimed. He wasn't dead like Hayden Christensen, but he was horribly maimed.
Yeah.
And would never go on because now he can't grow a beard without being Ben Kenobi or anything. He's fucked. He has to even come back. He's coming back in this alleged series they're going to do.
Yeah.
Allegedly. They've been talking about doing that Kenobi series.
Yeah,
but
it's been a while. They've been doing that.
there's only one that... statistically, from if you put it together, only one person walks away. If you don't show your face in Star Wars, you can walk away.
Yeah.
Because the guy who played Darth Vader, he's fine.
Yeah.
Walked away. Went to live a perfectly normal life. Hayden Christensen, or the kid that played Anakin in the first episode 1.
No.
You're not walking away from that.
No.
He fucking died on impact. He's done. Opening day was the end of the rest of his life. Hayden Christensen, he didn't make it.
Unless you're the Jar Jar guy.
I want to. Jar Jar didn't show his face.
No, but that guy, he got burned bad.
Well, there's always a lot of fatalities in these things. Live and learn, Flapjack. Live and learn. You live and learn. Hamill was the one that died in the car wreck.
Yeah.
Hamill died on that hill. Had to go to voice acting because he tried to do other films. He didn't make it.
No.
He didn't make it. I saw another. He was in a horror movie on Shudder. He was in. They did. It was Creepshow 2, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's in the last story of Creepshow 2. He's like a baseball player, and you get to see his dick. So if anybody's interested in seeing Mark Hamill's balls and dick, it's in there. I don't remember that, but I remember seeing ass cheek, and I turned away, and I was like, I could have gone my whole life without fucking seeing that. But he's just like in it. It's one of those ones where he gets his eyes replaced with fucking a dead body, so he sees ghosts. I've fucking seen this one a couple times. It happens a few times. But it's Mark Hamill, so I was like, well, I'll watch it. It was just, that was kind of what happened. He was in that, you know what, speaking of dicks, he was in that World War II movie where he got his dick blown off. Or was it Vietnam?
Oh, yeah, that was, no, that was World War II. That was it the Red Line or something?
I don't think it was the Red Line. Was it?
Or,
it was before that. He gets his dick blown off. Poor Mark Hamill, man.
Yeah, but I remember, I know the one you're talking about.
Well, that's, Harrison Ford walked out of it because George Lucas was like, I've got this other story I'm working on. It's called Indiana Jones. Wondering if you wanted to take part in it. I think he'd be perfect. And Harrison Ford at the time was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'll do whatever. Because he's high. He doesn't care. He smokes a lot of pot. So he's like, yeah, you want me to do what? Adventures? Okay, sure. And he fucking, up until the fourth one. It's like, that's when we started to realize that he'll say yes to whatever as long as there's a paycheck. I'll fucking be in the fourth one. But that's most of his career. He went from building sets to being like, I'll do this audition. They're like, well, do you want to be the coolest guy in the fucking movie? Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. And there's money, you said? You said you'll pay me?
There's money with this. You can get paid doing this.
You can get paid? Oh, fuck. And I'll die at the end, right? And they're like, yeah.
We'll see how things go.
Yeah, we'll work up to that. Because, true story, he wanted to die at the end of
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
He was like,
he was seeing like, he's like, I got to get out of this alive.
Well, fucking Ford is like, he knew about the car wreck theory.
Yeah.
I think he was the one who was like, we're not getting out of this. He's like, I got to fucking get out of here now. and he's like trying to abandon ship, and Han Solo's packing up things in a bag, and they're like, Han Solo, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm just getting some things together. I'm not really going anywhere. And he's like keeping his stuff by the door, and he's like, oh man. And it fucking come to the point where he was gonna die, and George Lucas is like, no.
Yeah.
We'll have a fucking teddy bear picnic. Because I could sell those toys to millions of children. And that's why he fucking was pissed about the ending, because he's like, I don't want to be...
He's like,
I don't want to be in the end of
kill
this
me.
fucking movie.
Please kill me.
Yeah, he wanted to die. And so the only reason he came back for the other one is like, he's like, you're going to kill me, right? And they're like, fuck. Yeah, yes. Please. Somebody has to carry this movie. So Driver kills him. And he's safe. He's safe from all these horrible things.
Out. He didn't.
Harrison Ford is the smartest man in Hollywood, people. Like, maybe he's the only one who understands how it works. And he's fucking... He does that, and then he survives plane wrecks in his free time. I want to say
he's avoiding getting on planes with Buddy Holly.
He's survived several. I think a helicopter wreck and 2 plane wrecks.
That's right.
I swear it's 2.
I think it's 2 plane wrecks. Yeah.
Because he got out of the last one, and the guy's like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah, it was like he landed in the middle of a freaking country club.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fine. It's okay. And they saw who it was, and they're like, "Holy fuck, it's Harrison Ford." And he's like, "Yeah, you're not. Don't tell anybody about this, right?" And they're like, "No, no, I won't. It'll be fine." And then they started taking out their phones.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, you'll never believe what happened. Harrison Ford almost died right here.
People still don't believe me about freaking Bill Murray at Starbucks, but they'll remember
but,
Harrison Ford in the country club.
I swear to God, Harrison Ford almost died in front of me. So I don't know, but somebody has to walk away from this car wreck. That theory, I think, is the most legit, because Star Wars the fans take someone.
Yeah.
They will take someone, and they're like, we want you to be this forever.
Yep.
And Rey's already that one, because they've made her the poster child. She's the Mary Sue. She's already came pre-built out of the box, knowing how to do everything, how to use all the force powers, how to fight, how to do all that stuff. Knows everything about everything, pretty much. Is like a god.
Yeah, she is. That's my theory. Is she's gonna be Force God.
She's gonna be the Force Jesus.
She's gonna be the Force Jesus that Anakin never was.
The return of Christ.
Yes, the second coming to bring about.
Coming of fucking Star Wars Christ.
Bring about Star Wars paradise.
Yeah, I can see that. But she's not getting out of this fucking car ride.
No, not Daisy Ridley, no.
I think Driver's the only one walking away from this.
Yeah.
I'm talking about after this movie's over.
Yeah.
At the end, Driver's the only one walking away.
I mean,
you can get. I'm talking about your small cast members. They'll be around.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be anything quite as good as what this. But Driver has already proved that he can act. He's like, no, I swear to God, I can fucking act. He's like, look, I've been in Lucky Logan. He's been in a ton of things.
Yeah.
He's been in Girls. I don't watch Girls, but I've seen him in Girls. God, and he holds the fucking thing together for the most part. When he's in a scene, he's like holding onto 2 sides of the thing falling apart. You know in Spider-Man where he's stopping that bus and it's going out, or the train, it's going off the edge, and he's like, oh, holding onto it. That's Adam Driver in Girls. He's holding it on the rails. Hold on. We're gonna make it to the end of the season. We'll make it. I'll be back for the next one. I need money. Please God, let this Star Wars thing work out. And he's like, fucking please. And he's gonna be able to walk away.
Yeah.
I think he'll die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That being said, with my theory in place, putting that out there, I think Driver will die in Star Wars. Hamill's dead. Fisher's gonna die. Chewbacca will die.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of the plot, I can't give you any predictions on what the fuck is gonna happen, because we've already talked about how they shot down Rey's family not being a thing. They've already disengaged anything that was important from the movies. Any side story bullshit that they were bubbling up from the first film, they took it apart.
Yeah,
there's nothing left.
Left it on the roadside and told you to forget about it.
Because they realized that they're not going to be able to finish this film with all this other shit intact. So they're like, we have to walk away from this Rey being her parents being Luke Skywalker, and you know all the fan theories, all this shit. The only fan theory I'm wondering is, did Yoda fuck Yaddle? That's the only one I want to know about.
And is that why we have the Mandalorian now?
Yeah, who's Baby Yoda? What if he is Yoda and he reincarnates like a fucking phoenix?
Or he's like a.
What if they grow
spore,
like? What if they grow
that
up,
came off of him?
Yeah. What if they grow like little polyps on this plant and it's like the same plant, so they clone themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it's
He's a reincarnation of Yoda himself.
yeah.
Because they put him back in the last Star Wars movie. They're like, here's fucking weird Yoda. And what if he can re-embody himself? Because he hasn't shown up in a while.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe
And his
they're
baby-
setting up reincarnation. Maybe Rey is a reincarnated Anakin, and and it's going to be that they're going to replay that awkward thing where Luke kissed his sister, and it's going to be that
No, I said it was going to be mostly porn.
that it's going to be Kylo Ren kissed his grandfather.
He fondled his his grandfather's balls? What? Sure, man. Yeah, I guess I can do. Why not? Look,
Why not at this point?
as far as predictions, so let's sum it all up. We'll get ready to wrap it up here
Yeah.
because it's already 3 our time. Let's sum it up with Chewbacca's dead.
Chewbacca's dead.
I want to say Chewbacca's dead. That's my biggest prediction overall. I want to say Chewie bites it.
Yeah.
Even though they could fucking reuse him for anything, they could just bring in another whatever. I want to say Chewie bites it. As far as my big prediction of what could happen, because we know Fisher's dead, Driver's dead.
Yeah.
But I don't stick to that one as hard because they don't even know how they're gonna end this movie. They've already reshot it multiple times. I sure he did die in one of those endings.
In some iteration, yeah.
In one of those endings. And what if they do this like multi-dimensional thing? Where they end it, where it's like a timeline split, where they go back in time and retcon the whole Star Wars series with going back in time with like a millennium. They take the aluminum Falcon through time and space and go back and stop the Clone Wars from ever taking place and prevent the war and stop the Sith and they kill Palpatine back in time because Palpatine's there. They kill him on the toilet or something. They kick in the door and they do that scene from Pulp Fiction. And they fucking just shoot him down while he comes off the shitter. And he's like trying to fucking eat a Pop-Tart or whatever. And it's the whole thing. They do that whole thing. And that's the end of the film.
That's the end of the film.
They fucking retcon it. And they're like, let's fucking just reboot it from here. Fuck it. And then they fucking blow
Nothing
up.
matters.
They ride off into the sunset and that's it. That's the end. And then, I don't know. That's what I feel like they might do. Because if Palpatine's coming back, I'm like, what if they went back and fucking stopped him from being born or some shit?
Yeah.
If they stopped the Emperor, they stopped the whole war.
Yeah, and they're desperate enough to get a buzz on this movie.
If they go back in time, this is fucking. We're going far-fetched as fuck. If they go back in fucking time and stop the Emperor from living, they just kill him while he's a senator. Boom, fucking kill him on the toilet, right? Whatever. Or they blow up his ship. They get one scene of him going, ma'am, yes, yes, evil plan, yes, something, dark side, something, and he fucking blows up. They just cut him down right there. Boom, save money. We only need him in one scene. We've wasted a lot of money on this already. We already reshot it. And retcon the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's
At the end of all things. Because I think that's what the baseline is. We have to deconstruct Star Wars. If Star Wars has to live, we have to kill it here and now. And I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to find a way to fucking kill it all. To walk away from this and fucking Phoenix from the ashes kind of thing. And then have a foundation to build a new series off of. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I see it as regardless of what they do, you're going to have a lot of disappointment in it. But maybe the spectacle will be there enough that kids will keep asking their spectacles. The spectacle will be there enough to get the little kids dragging their parents back, or be the thing, 3 hours, parents get away from the kids and just dump them in the theater for long enough.
No kids are seeing this. I don't think any kids are going to fucking give a fuck.
You don't think so? Because that's their best way of making money at this point.
Kids don't give a fuck about Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
Do you see kids walking around with Star Wars shirts? They don't even buy the toys or anything anymore.
No.
It's all weird older dudes.
It's all,
like our age. They're having a podcast sitting in a kitchen talking about Star Wars. Those are the only fucking people who care. Little kids want Fortnite.
That's right.
They want Fortnite, and we're going to end on that note. We'll wrap it here. And we'll come back and do something after we watch Star Wars and see if we were right.
All right. Have a good one.